Shalom, family. Good to see everybody here. Hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been caught on camera an awful lot sleeping. Now, normally this would probably not even be a story, but he made such a big deal out of Sleepy Joe. And now turns out Donald Trump is sleeping way more than Joe Biden. Now, maybe if Donald Trump gets his ass off of truth the times he's posting stuff. It's usually at like 3 in the morning. Maybe if you were going to sleep instead of being up posting, maybe you would be more wide awake during the day. But Donald Trump could be sundowning at night, and he needs to do all his sleeping during the day. About, I think, 2 weeks ago, he went to Saudi Arabia, and he was in this conference in Saudi Arabia, and Donald Trump is going to sleep. He is there sleeping. I was like, okay, you flew all the way overseas to meet with these other world leaders, and you just sat there and fell asleep. Unbelievable. So that's all he seems to be doing. But it's funny because Steve Bannon and MAG and all them seem to think he's ready for 2028. Shoot, he ain't even ready for prime time now. All he does is sleep. So we're going to look at some clips, and people are coming up with all kinds of names, Dolzen Don and Napton America. I mean, they're coming up with all kinds of names for him online. And, more and more people are noticing how Donald Trump now, he is going to sleep during press conferences. And you're going to see he had one right in his office. Somebody even passed out in his office, and Donald Trump just kind of looked over, and that was it. He didn't say nothing. He didn't react, nothing. But this person was passed out on the floor. So, yeah, Nod Father, I heard that one too. Yeah, all these little nicknames are going around online. And Donald Trump, 2028, he can't keep his eyes open in 2025. He going to be far worse in 2028. Seriously, he's going to be far worse. Unfortunately, with age, you don't get better. These things are not going to get better. It's going to actually get worse. Next thing you know, he's going to be sleeping through everything from start to finish. So let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. All right, give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Yeah, people with dementia do this. They'll sleep a lot more during the day, and at night when they're sundowning, they're wide awake. Because my mother had dementia, and that's what she was like. She would be wide awake all night long, and then during the day, she'd want to sleep all day. It's crazy. All right, y'all. Let's get started. Thank you.
I saw a video where somebody called this fool Napton America and Donald J. Trump. Now I can't get it out of my head. It's too perfect. And this fool had the nerve to call somebody Sleepy Joe. Really? Napton America? Donald J. Trump? It's too good.
Donald Trump was just caught sleeping in 4K during a press conference. You heard that right. So as you can see, the president was clearly catching some extra sleep during this meeting. And people are saying this is worse than anything Biden ever did. I think it's funny because when he starts to wake up, I mean, just look at his eyes, brother. You can see he is. I just think it's funny too how they got like the most close-up shots. Like whoever was behind this camera knew exactly what they were doing. This one is crazy. I mean, you can clearly see bro is out. I mean, face is completely relaxed, eyes are shut. Now I know some people are saying, oh, he wasn't really asleep, they just took a picture when his eyes were closed. But brother, there's multiple angles. I mean, this one, his eyes are opening. He looks like he's starting to wake up right here, like if he barely was just like, whoa, what's going on? But this one right here, you can't tell me that he is not fully asleep in this picture. I mean, look at that. And this is when he wakes up and he's like, okay, I'm gonna act like nobody noticed. Did anyone catch that? I can't do a Trump impression. Was I asleep? Was I sleeping? Was I sleeping, son? I don't know how to do a Trump impression. Taxes, Epstein, taxes, tariffs, pear, rose, rag, cashew. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this in the comments. Was he asleep? Was he awake? I don't know. It looks like he was sleeping. My name is AT. I cover news on the internet. If there's anything you guys want me to cover or react to, tag me in while you're checking my mentions. Besides that, like and follow for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
What is your guys' problem? I'm going to be honest with you. Donald Trump is sleeping in that chair. In his Oval Office, he is sleeping like a little baby. He's a senior citizen. So the senior citizen jokes, making fun of your elders, if you think that's funny, shame on you. Donald Trump probably has his diaper on as well. That is the kind of leadership that we need. Because he knows if he has an accident while sleeping, he's got the diaper on. And don't worry, there's a TV doctor right there. He lost an election, but he's in good hands. And so instead of making fun of this guy, because he's been working so hard at helping billionaires not pay their fair share, whether it's Jeff Bezos at Amazon, Google, Tim Cook at Apple, Steve Jobs will be proud, Tim. That takes a lot of effort. So let the guy sleep in the Oval Office and make sure he gets his snacks and his treats. Okay? And release the Epstein files.
Donald Trump was just caught falling asleep during his meeting in Saudi Arabia. Here is a video of the President of the United States dozing off live on air on Fox News.
Read a lot of the material now out of Saudi Arabia. And,
here it comes.
Mohammed bin Salman is saying we need a resolution on a Palestinian state. And I don't necessarily recall several years ago, pre-October 7th, as that.
And then he wakes up a little bit, checks around to see if anything important is being discussed. It probably is. Struggles to keep his eyes open, and then look at that. I know that look. That is when you wake up from a nap and you are so disoriented you don't even know where you are or what room you've just woken up in. Except I am a civilian who is not the president. By the way, they called Joe Biden Sleepy Joe, yet we have seen Donald Trump fall asleep numerous times while the cameras are rolling during his court hearings, at his criminal trial, at church, at the RNC, and now during a high-stakes meeting in Saudi Arabia. Get this guy to bed. He's so unfit.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Today drained me.
I don't think the Republicans can deny it anymore. There is absolutely something wrong with Donald Trump. This is a real photo that was taken of him in the Oval Office the other day during a press conference. He has all of these people there, all of these journalists there, and he was falling asleep, slumping in his chair. There were more. This was not just a singular image. He was caught looking bad. There were many photos taken like this. Here's another one. Looks like he's dozing off. Here's another one as he apparently struggles to keep his eyes open. Remember, this was the middle of the day. This wasn't like 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. This was the middle of the day and he was falling asleep. And then one more for good luck. Another image of him passing out with people behind him. And there's this image of him just, you know, There's some not right. I remember when Joe Biden was in office and he could breathe and Republicans would say there's something wrong with him. He has to resign. He's mentally declining. But now we have Donald Trump literally falling asleep in front of the entire country and Republicans are silent. Nowhere to be seen. Fox is nowhere to be seen. It is so hypocritical.
They used about 20 acres and had a fence that had been there since 1910 when their family took over.
Oh my, it should be any day now. Like, we gotta just start taking bets on what day we think it's gonna happen. I don't think he's gonna make it out of the year. Like, no way he sees 2026. I mean, it's only a month left, but what do y'all think? This guy fell asleep live on TV in a room full of people, and nobody's asking any questions about it? Where's the mainstream media demanding answers on his health? And it gets better. Look at his eyes, man. This guy's fucking zooted. I don't even think he knows what the fuck is going on. Look at him. I mean, look at his eyes. Pupils super dilated. He can't even keep them open. Something else I've noticed. Which one's a pig? Isn't it crazy it's hard to tell? I was looking at that last picture and I was like, dang, that reminds me of something. This guy is literally asleep at the wheel, and this is supposed to be the leader of MAGA? And this guy falls asleep a lot. You're telling me Joe Biden was the sleepy one? I don't even think there's as many pictures like this that exist of Joe Biden. And we can't forget to mention the biggest highlight, where a man collapsed and passes out right behind Donald Trump, and he couldn't even pretend to give a fuck. He just looked over for a quick second and then just stood up and posed for the cameras.
Donald Trump has made headlines for apparently falling asleep during his 79th birthday celebrations. This picture showing the US president with his eyes closed during a military parade has gone viral. The event honouring both himself and the 250th anniversary of the US Army. My dad would call that resting his eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I mean, he
always
did
on the
have all
couch,
that
just resting.
sort of sleepy Joe, and now it's tired ass Trump.
Yeah, and he tripped up the stairs of the
I might
plane.
have to say ass.
I doubt it. I mean, I know one thing for sure. Your US visa's just been revoked. I do know that.
Oh, dear.
Americans will lose 135 billion pounds by the midterms. But I don't measure it in pounds. I measure it in saved lives. People can sleep again because they can breathe as when they go to bed. Folks whose knees don't hurt. People who don't have heart attacks, renal failure, dementia, all the things we know are associated with obesity and much more.
I mean, that was him in the White House today, basically appearing to nod off while his Surgeon General talked about, of all things, really, dementia, obesity, and sleep loss. I mean, it kind of feels a little too on the nose, doesn't it? Let's just go back for a second to what Dr. Oz was saying there before the president started to lose interest.
Mr. President, our estimate, based on the company numbers as well, is Americans will lose 135 billion pounds by the midterms.
That didn't catch his interest either. But yes, you heard it. Dr. Oz is promising that Americans will lose 135 billion pounds by the midterms. That's a lot of pounds in a short period of time. Look, I'm not an expert on weight loss. I'm not even a mathematician. But I do know there are about 340 million people in the United States. So for this country to collectively lose 135 billion pounds, that would mean that every American would have to lose an average of 397 pounds each. And that would be big news because it's basically impossible. Okay, so this event was extremely weird to begin with, and then this happened.
Advancing science and creating high-value jobs. But today we... Oh, are you okay? Gordon, you okay? Yeah.
What was notable this time was how the president just kind of awkwardly stood there, stared at him as after it happened. That's what he did kind of the whole time. I mean, did he understand what had happened? Did he not care? Was he happy to just stand by as things were literally collapsing around him? The metaphors are kind of too long to list here, but that event gave us a lot to work with. But that is definitely how Trump appears to be coping with this week's election losses, just sort of spacing out as his party collapses. And to be fair, I mean, everyone is coping, I guess, in their own way.
That's the President of the United States, dead ass asleep on camera in the Oval Office during a press briefing because he most likely has Alzheimer's and or dementia that is causing his brain to atrophy. I'm a physical therapist with a doctorate in my field and 14 years experience in home health care treating geriatric patients just like Sleepy Guy. Over time, dementia will reduce your radius of self-awareness around your physical body to just around your head and face. Now, fatigue can simply be a part of aging, but dementia is a different animal. Over time, you lose the ability to be aroused or focus your attention on things that require your direct attention, like a damn press briefing in your office. Of course, the irony of all ironies, the executive responsible for making Ozempic faints in the middle of a press briefing. And here we have the commander-in-chief looking like he has no connection to this situation at all. And the truth is, he really doesn't. Cognitively speaking, this is exactly the reaction you would expect from somebody who has dementia. They've been giving him MRIs and having him take the MoCA test, not to discover if he has dementia or Alzheimer's, but to track the progression of it. As Alzheimer's progresses, it creates more amyloid plaque on the brain tissue and neurofibrillary tangles, basically altering the physical structure of the brain and poking holes in all of the automatic and normal behavior that you've had programmed into your brain for decades. And Caroline Leavitt said that the president's focus will be the ballroom going forward. That was them handing a dementia patient a coloring book to keep them occupied. Once again, he stayed behind the desk the entire time to hide his swollen feet and ankles, which are most likely from congestive heart failure and or chronic kidney disease. Oh, also RFK got the fuck out of there as soon as he could because he knows he's not a doctor. Isn't that funny, y'all? We have a lawyer who's a piece of shit leading HHS, not a doctor, a shitty lawyer. Make it make sense. With all of these signs of illness that the president has going on, I'd really say he's got 4 to 6 months left in the land of the living. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Family dynamics. An unexpected positioning change in life when caretakers become the caregivers. If this has happened within your family, you understand the precious nature of motherhood.
There was a meeting in the Oval Office with Dr. Oz and a bunch of people, and Trump was there, and he was sitting in his chair, and he looked like he was sleeping. He straight up looked like he was asleep. His eyes were closed. And then one of the people that was standing up behind Dr. Oz started to become faint. He was about to pass out. And Trump, it woke him up. And as they were laying the man to the floor, Trump stood up and he just stood there. Like he didn't know where he was. That was how it looked to me. And that was it. That's what he did. Now, is he in command of his own self? This man has the nuclear codes, yo. The nuclear codes. And that was his reaction time to one of his people passing out behind him. And this is not the first time somebody got sick in his presence. Oh, Lord Jesus. What kind of commander-in-chief is this? When we got Nigeria, Venezuela, China, Russia, blah, 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 blah. We got all this, and this is how he reacts. He didn't do nothing. He didn't even call for help.
All this comes back to one fundamental issue, Mr. President, which is leadership. I think 60 people, the biggest, the best, the willing, came forward because of your leadership, because you weren't going to take no for an answer, and they know it. We are building a robust and safe, I emphasize that, safe system. It's going to protect the data better than we could have imagined. We're going to be able to accomplish goals that all of us wished from day one that they would be in place. These pledges are now confirmed. They're signed in public. And you have therefore empowered Americans to own their property, which is their medical records.
Being achieved during the term of Donald Trump over the next 3.5 years. I asked that with trepidation, only because you read a lot of the material now out of Saudi Arabia, and Mohammed bin Salman is saying we need a resolution on a Palestinian state. And I don't necessarily recall several years ago pre-October 7th as that being a demand that he had necessarily stated publicly. Do you think his position has changed? Or do you think the way he has expressed himself?
Trump continues to fall deeper and deeper into cognitive decline. And it doesn't matter anymore if the mainstream media doesn't want to give it the attention it deserves, because Donald Trump is. It's like he's actively trying to show us the pudding leaking out of his brain. And he certainly did today at what was supposed to be an angry, rageful press conference about the failing blue cities of Portland and Chicago. But it just ended up being a little sleepy time fest for Donald Trump as his mouth was sagging. He was almost drooling on himself as he kind of dozed off into the night. We're going to get into declining Trump, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get to Trump taking a little time off, I want to see where he started this press conference with just some random spewing nonsense.
Amazing thing is you look at Portland and you see fires all over the place. You see fights and, I mean, just violence. It's just so crazy. And then you talk to the governor and she acts like everything is totally normal. There's nothing wrong. It's almost like, are you waking up from a dream or something? You see it on your network. You see it all over the place. And it's so bad. It's so crazy. It's like the movies you see for the kids. I guess not only the kids, adults also, where you have these bombed out cities and these bombed out people. It's like worse than that. I don't think they could make a movie as bad. And then the governor will get up and say, I don't know why they're coming here. It's such a wonderful place. And the amazing thing is the people want us to be there. The people, when they get the real people that live there, many of them have left, but the real people want us to be. The same thing in Chicago. So
there are bombed out kids and it's a bombed out city. What does anyone understand what he's saying? I know that like Kash Patel and Pam Bondi are sitting there like idiots. Kash Patel's like this the whole time. He's like, yes, dear leader. Can you see how it's like drying out my eyes? I don't know how Kash Patel is around like that all the time. Jesus. But like these guys are just yes men for a bumbling idiot. And honestly, they're kind of happy about it. Do you think Stephen Miller wants Donald Trump to be all there? Do you think Russ Vought does? No, because those are the guys who are running the White House. Trump is putting together Spotify playlists and like making the Rose Garden ugly, while Stephen Miller is carrying out the dream he had since high school when everyone had hated him. And he's like, oh, finally, I've been bald since I was 13 years old and now I can inflict maximum pain on my enemies, because that's what these ugly ghoul-like people are all about, is making people scared, making black and brown people in America scared. And Donald Trump will actively let you know that that is what they want to do. Listen to him here.
Nationwide, and they've attacked journalists reporting on their crimes. So the journalists that report on their crimes, don't worry, you're very safe. I hope that's not going to turn you around, but they have been very threatening to people, but we're going to be very threatening to them, far more threatening to them than they ever were with us. And that includes the people that fund them. Probably some of the people I know, some of the people I dine with. But if they do, they're in deep trouble. So we're going to be looking very strongly at the people that are funding these operations. When you see the signs, and they're all made out of a beautiful paper, beautiful, nice, stiff, very expensive paper with beautiful wood handles, all the same color. They come from very expensive printing machines. These are not people that write out their signs in a basement that believe in something. These are paid anarchists.
Okay. Yeah, only everybody's laughing at the United States, and every time this man opens his mouth, I think the world is laughing. I really do. I really do. And they want this again in 2028, y'all. They want this, they want this sleeping ass man again in 2028. Can't make it up. Can't make this shit up. Oh man. I mean, it's bad enough that he's fallen asleep. Now, when he has press conferences in the Oval Office, he knocked out and asleep in front of all the cameras. And what if somebody would have yelled, I think he would have woken up. If somebody would have just yelled Epstein files, Epstein file, I think he would have woke up and sat at attention then, because he hates that subject matter. He wants that to go away badly. Just yell Epstein file. He'll wake up. He'll wake right up. Hmm No, it's the Most High showing you the weak, frail, incompetent men. Look at the last two presidents, y'all. Just look at the last two. You can't get more incompetent. But they want these old, saggy, diaper-wearing men, then, hey, have at it. Have at it. But when the world is laughing, hey, it is what it is. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I got one more live stream coming up, and this one is revisiting Nebraska to get an update on what's going on in Nebraska, because we heard earlier in the year they were close to bankruptcy. So we're just getting an update on where they are now. Okay, so that'll be at 5:45. Hope to see you all again. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Shalom, family.